Good day and hello, besties. My name is Shelby Ashley, and welcome back to another recap from Big Brother 28. This was the week 3 HOH competition results and our week 3 nominations. So if you want any more Big Brother 28 coverage, be sure to subscribe to the channel, comment along this video as you watch it, and like this video because it helps me out so much and I really appreciate it. So getting into this episode, there's a couple things that I really wanted to know. I kind of wanted any insight onto why Taylor even made that vote to evict Melody. Like, why did she even do that and throw that rogue vote out there? And I also wanted some more details about Devin's power. I really hoped it didn't last 6 weeks, but turns out it does. So we'll get to that whenever we get to that part of the episode. And of course, it wouldn't be a week of Big Brother without having some severe weather coverage interrupting my episode. So thankfully, it didn't really do it too bad today, but it did do it in like one little part, but it was pretty insignificant. So we are good. Kicking off this episode, we get the fallout from Rome being evicted, and there was only one vote for Rome to stay. And everyone thinks Lyric did it, but she denies it straight away. But Taylor says that she's not going to tell anyone that she was the vote for Rome to stay. And she just simply doesn't want to do what the house tells her to do. And she wants to do everything on her own terms, which I respect, but with that logic though, you kind of just did it just to do it, and I don't like that kind of gameplay. I wish what I was saying. I wish that with this she used it as like, why is Lyric lying? Like, of course she wouldn't vote Rome out, but Lyric was standing her ground pretty hard. I'm really loving Lyric without Rome, I must say. Like I said it the whole time. I was not a fan of her baby voice around Rome, but I am a fan of Lyric, as I've been hearing it called a lyricist. If you're a fan of Lyric, I think that's pretty cute. And Lyric also has a DR, saying that she has to play for herself now, and I think she genuinely has a fire lit under her ass now that Rome is gone. I think Rome leaving was pretty much the best thing that could have happened for her social game. Now, Rome could have probably won some competitions for her, but that just is what it is. But I think socially, she really needed Rome to leave, and I'm glad he did for her. We get Barrett mentioning again that he was the last person that was brought in to the Toolshed Alliance, and he's not super feeling great about it. So that's just more seed planting for this, Barrett having doubts, and they're having doubts about Drew, and Barrett and Drew are a bit of a package deal in a way. I think to a lot of the people in the house, they kind of look that way. So it's just really interesting to get more and more of Barrett's feelings about this Toolshed Alliance. I think it's really going to come to a head at some point. I'm not quite sure when, but there's got to be a reason they're planting all these seeds. And Barrett is also talking about how he really wants to prove himself in this HOH competition. He wants to gun for it. He's talking with Drew. He's like, let's go for this HOH, let's go. But then we get Drew saying that he doesn't really want to win HOH because he feels like he's working with everybody in the house, so he doesn't really want to get that blood on his hands. But also, working with everybody in the house, that's kind of what's sketching everybody out as well. So Drew actually does need to win HOH pretty soon because he is just getting all of this heat that he doesn't even know about. His true alliance is still to the Toolshed and the crossovers, but man, everybody is getting so shady with, they're feeling so shady about him. This fly is going to drive me absolutely crazy in my room right now. Oh my gosh. We then get a little clip of Mallory and Melody talking. They're asking themselves, is Jason just a drag queen? Because he's super smart, but he's just a big fan. And a competition like the one that he won in the Blockbuster is a little bit classic at this point. You should know how to do stuff like that if you're going to be on Big Brother, in my opinion. But as with any reality competition show, you should just be good at like a slide puzzle and stuff like that. Jason literally walks in while they're talking about them, and they actually do say that they were just talking about them, about him whenever he walks in, which I thought was a little ballsy, but they saved themselves with it, I think, a bit, just like kind of playing it off. We also get Mallory. We get so much content tonight of Mallory just wanting to gun for these icons so bad. She is so fed up with the position she's in. She's tired of them having all of the power. They're just sitting pretty. She says they're basically at Disney World and they need to feel some heat, and she wants to put them on the block. And I genuinely think anybody outside of the tool shed would put all three of those icons on the block at the same time, and I don't even think you'd really get that much heat for it, to be quite honest with you. Then we get a clip of Angela laying on the floor in the living room. She's basically praying to the BB gods, please don't let this egg costume hinder my HOH performance. And then literally the HOH gods of the BB gods answer. Did I say the HOH gods? I don't know, but the BB gods answer, and they tell her the punishment is over. Angela is hatched. She gets out of the egg, and then they all basically kill the egg. I don't know whose check that's going to come out of, but I bet someone's going to have to pay for that, because BB seems stingy. Then we go to the HOH competition. This HOH competition, they travel to March 31st, 1985. It's definitely a very WrestleMania vibe, and it's called WrestleGasm 85. I don't know who's coming up. Someone needs to go to horny jail at this Big Brother office, because they are a little wild and unhinged this season. Devins makes a super great host in this. He's got the whole announcer voice going for him. In this competition, the house guests have to watch this whole skit of wrestlers, and then they are asked true or false questions about them, and it's just a booth comp in a way. I liked this different style of booth comp. I thought that was pretty fun. We start off with I think they were called the Metal Maniacs. They come in, they play some air guitar, and then we get Mr. Pectacular, which Jesse from BB 10 and 11, I'm pretty sure, comes in, but they call him Pretty Boy in this competition. He says everyone knows he's twice the man and double the beef. He's fighting for all the petite Pectaculars at home. He promotes Pretty Boy protein powder. Even protein is mentioned in Big Brother this season. Protein is everywhere. I am so tired of this protein being everywhere. It's just like an ick of mine if you say that it's protein and it's not like protein. You know what I'm saying? Like Honey Nut, Cheerios, protein. Like, let's calm down. Let's chill out. That's my protein rant. We get a clip of D saying that this is the best HOH competition. She wished she could just enjoy it. D, I think, is just having a great time in the Big Brother house. All of her DRs are just like, holy crap, I can't believe this is happening. Like, she's just having a great time up there. And I'm pretty sure Pretty Boy gets spanked with a guitar at some point. But he ultimately wins the round, the match. There you go. That's probably the word I'm looking for. Then the questions start, and then I get interrupted by severe weather. So I missed pretty much all of the questions, but it does come back with a Kamu W. So Kamu is our new HOH. So that means this week's pretty straightforward, in my opinion. But after the Kamu win, we get a lot of pro tool shed propaganda fed to us. Barrett's saying he'll get it tattooed on his forehead, he'll buy the merch. And then Kamu is also saying that, like, he is for the tool shed and the tool shed's safe this week and all of that. Kamu is considering putting up Jason and Mallory, but he doesn't really know who the third nominee is going to be. Then we get a clip of Dee and Angela showing that they're super suspicious of Drew. And again, it's kind of along with the Barrett having doubts. Like, I feel like all of these, like, seeds are getting planted because this is going to be, like, climactic whenever Drew figures out his actual positioning in this alliance. Because Drew, I think, is just thinks he's hot shit a little bit right now, and he's flirting with Melody, and that's fun and it's distracting, but he really needs to get his head into the game and realize the perception that is true in the Big Brother house of him. But speaking of Drew, Kamo and Drew are talking about in a handyman meeting. They're talking about the third nomination. They're basically saying it's basically Lala or Lyric for the most part. Kamo has a couple other meetings. He talks to Mallory. He asked her who she would put up on the block if she was in power. And I don't know why these people are just spouting who they would really put up. But she does say she would put up the survivors, which, say that to anybody else that's not in the Toolshed Alliance, and they're all with you for the most part. Hell, you could probably even say that to Barrett a little bit, and, or a little bit Drew, but I don't think you could say that to Drew. But, that's just something that's, like, really risky to say to the people who aren't on the outs. You kind of know who this big group is, and to just tell Kamu that is crazy. So it really just gives him, like, a reason to put you up. Kamu is also talking to Lyric, and that Lyric bitch is putting in the work. I'm telling you, she is flirting her ass off. She's saying what she needs to say, doing what she needs to do, and she totally downplays her whole relationship with Rome, and Kamu is falling for it. She is just puts on that little bit of flirtation, and these men are putty in her hands a little bit. So Kamu ends up telling her, like, okay, you're safe for the week. You don't have to worry. Then we get a Melody and Drew little showmancy montage. Although it's really funny that we get them both in the DR saying that, they don't want this or whatever. But it's so obvious that they're into each other. And I just think it's really cute. But I really hope that they both stay in the house for at least a couple more weeks so it could develop some more. I'm okay with that. Then we get to the BB time capsule. We learn that Devins won the time capsule. Devins says that he kind of figured out the pattern that the spinny chair is going in and how to gamify it. And then he gets a power. He ends up winning the diamond power of veto. Devins, for the next 6 veto meetings, can take after the veto has been used, the golden power veto, he can use the diamond power veto, take anybody he wants off the block, and replace it with anybody who's eligible to go on the block of his choosing. And Devins ends up only telling Dee about this. And mind you, Dee says that she would only tell Devins and Angela, but then Devins is like, let's keep Angela out of this. Let it just be me and you on this one. And I think that's an excellent, excellent game plan. But if Angela finds out you're lying to her, that's another thing. I get a little more severe weather storm coverage, but then when we come back, it's Drew talking to Kamu about, Jason playing in both the veto and the blockbuster is really dangerous because Jason has really proven himself in these competitions. So Drew pitches the idea of Jason being a backdoor, and Kamu is super about it. But then that means that Kamu has to put up Lyric, who he just told was safe. So that does not buy any good favor with Lyric. He mentions this to Lyric, and she tries her best to get him to not do it. She says to use someone else, like you just told her that she was safe. But, eventually you just got to give in because, you're just making yourself look more of an opponent if you're opposing the idea so much. Then we get to the nominations. Kamu does nominate Lyric, Mallory, and Lala for eviction, and he ultimately plans to backdoor Jason. That is the plan this week. Lyric says that she thought she had Riz, but now she needs to win the veto. And again, we get more Mallory being pissed off at these icons just having it so easy. So that's where we're at. We have Lala, Lyric, and Mallory on the block. So on Wednesday, we're going to learn all about who wins the veto, what plans are changed from that, and where the season might go from here. Because if you get the right person winning veto and the right person winning the blockbuster, I hope someone kind of insignificant like Lala goes home this week, just for the sake of good TV, because I would hate to lose Jason. I like Lyric. I like Mallory because she is so against the vets right now, and I just like the opposition. I want something interesting to happen. Now I am rooting for the vets. I would love to see Dee be the first winner of Big Brother and Survivor. Like, how iconic is that? But I need them to have a little pushback getting there. So that's kind of what I'm going for. If you don't want to find out who won the veto and what the plans are for that, please go ahead and feel free to start, moseying out of here a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back Wednesday with all of the information and the goodies of what has happened with the veto and what we can expect on Thursday. But if you are into spoilers like us live feeders are, I just have a quick little update because it's a pretty straightforward week as far, I guess, as compared to last week. Last week was super eventful. So in the veto competition, I genuinely didn't take a note of who played in that veto competition and who was picked, but it doesn't matter because Lyric has won the power of veto. I'm really glad that she lives another week, although I don't think she would have been in much danger if she was still on the block because Rome is gone now. Like, there's that duo's not there anymore, but she is proving herself to be a very capable, smart, calculated player. So I'm so glad that she's going to stay another week. I really hope she gets HOH soon as well to be able to have like her Lyrics revenge or whatever on Devon's. The backdoor plan is still in swing. We also have a little more like Drew and Barrett suspicions rising. And I really think that, there's not much holding them with this Toolshed alliance, really with the crossovers even, because it's looking like Dee and Devons and Angela would much rather work with the red corner instead of the crossovers. So they're even talking about exposing everything that Drew and Barrett have been doing, but Devons is one that's really putting the brakes on that situation and telling Dee and Angela, like, it's way too early, it's way too soon. I think that's going to be Dee's downfall. Dee's downfall will be the pace of the game of Big Brother. I feel like Devons is kind of getting a grip on it, and I feel like, if they have like 2 more weeks go their way, we're kind of looking at a steamroll a bit. So I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. Like I said, I'm kind of rooting for all these people, but I really hope that they get some opposition soon because it's not very fun to just watch them win all the time. But I will be back on Wednesday with the episode recap for the veto episode. So please subscribe to the channel and come back for that. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.